Hey everyone, welcome to another little sit down video and chat. I feel like I don't do these sit downs as much anymore, but I'm trying to squeeze them in now and then when I have some time. Today, by the title, you can see we are talking about vasectomy reversal again. I wanted to give you guys another update and let you know some more details, but also answer a couple of your questions and the most common questions I've been getting between YouTube comments and Instagram and messages and things like that. If this is your first time clicking on one of my videos or one of these videos in this vasectomy reversal series, then I'll just introduce myself real quick. Hello, my name is Rainbow. Yes, for real. I'm a mom of 2, and 6 years ago, my husband and I decided that he would get a vasectomy, and we later came to regret that, and it's been a long journey to this point of getting a vasectomy reversal done for my husband so that we can have another baby. I have a playlist of videos that I've done through the series, starting with some of the first updates. So you've kind of seen us go from we don't know what we're doing yet to making a decision and deciding where we're getting the reversal, or he's getting the reversal, I should say, and things like that. So definitely, if you have more questions, it might be good to watch the couple videos that came before this in the vasectomy reversal series. You can see that by just clicking on playlists on my channel, and vasectomy reversal diaries will come up. I think that's what I've called it. So click on that if you would like more information and want to see the documentation of this journey. So if you missed my last update, then you know that we chose a place to have the vasectomy reversal done after lots of weighing of options of whether or not to have it done in Canada or seek somewhere else to do it. We chose to go to America to get it done because it is thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars cheaper. We'll talk about that later. We also chose to go to America for the main reason of having a very qualified, experienced professional doctor do it versus having it done here by doctors who don't do them that often and aren't as experienced at vasectomy reversals. They usually, here where I live in Canada and specifically in Alberta, the doctors that perform the vasectomy reversals here do other procedures, and they'll perform a vasectomy reversal here and there. Their ratings are not good, their reviews are not good, their success rates are terrible. So we want to go somewhere that we are going to have the best success rate that we can and have the most experienced doctor perform this, because we really only have the one shot to get this done. I know I wasn't very clear on when exactly the reversal is happening in my last video, and that is kind of on purpose. I'm not fully comfortable giving you guys the exact date for the reversal until it's done, and then I can film after. That's just the way I personally choose to film my YouTube videos. I don't like people to know exactly what I'm doing when I'm doing it on YouTube, so I'm sure many of you can understand that. So I will tell you though that the reversal is 5 weeks away, so maybe a little bit under. So it is coming soon. It is in August, and I'm so excited. It's July and I can't believe that in a month it's going to be done, and I'm gonna try really hard not to get weepy, not to get too emotional. I'm gonna try and fire through this a little bit faster so that I don't have time to get too emotional about this during this chat. I wanted this to be more of a question and answer and kind of give you guys a more standard update on what is happening. So the recap is we chose to go to America, to Oklahoma specifically, to the reversal clinic, and have Cody's vasectomy reversal performed by Dr. Wilson at the reversal clinic. We chose him for multiple reasons, the main being he is an incredibly skilled doctor. He has people come from all over the world to get the procedure done. He only does reversals, and he only does one a day, so he's really committed to performing super successful vasectomy reversals. And that's something we definitely really appreciate about him. By the time the reversal comes about, we're not going to have to worry too much about restrictions. If you are not aware, we are from Canada, and I don't know if I mentioned that earlier in the video, but we are Canadian, and our restrictions from the vid and everything have been quite severe for travel restrictions, so they're lifting slowly. We are now, where I live, under no restrictions. Everything's back to normal now. But as a country, the restrictions for traveling are still in place. We won't really know what is happening and what is lifting until the end of July, so we kind of are waiting until the last minute to find out what exactly our travel is going to look like in quarantine periods and things like that. So that was definitely a stressor earlier in the year, but it's becoming less stressful as the date moves near and we slowly reduce all the amounts of restrictions. And also because he's getting surgery, he falls under like this weird gray area of not having to do like hotel quarantine and things like that. So I feel like I should mention that because I did have a couple of inquiries about quarantine and what that is going to look like for us. So we're not sure yet. We will find out more at the end of this month, and then it's all just going to depend, but hopefully it won't be too much. I feel like this would be a really good place to jump into a question I got about what recovery time is for Cody. So right now, he's going to have to take more time off work due to restrictions than he is for the actual recovery of the surgery. A lot of men experience a more comfortable recovery with their reversal than their vasectomy. Another huge reason we decided to go with Dr. Wilson, I should add, because I'm trying to be as informative as I can if you are looking into vasectomy reversal yourself, is he does a less invasive no scalpel method under local anesthesia, just as you would get a vasectomy nowadays. And in Canada, all the places that were doing it around us, like on this side of the country, we're all doing it under general anesthesia, right? Where they have to like put you under completely, and that is scary in itself for a few reasons for us. So we really appreciate that this is a really non-invasive, skilled surgery that Dr. Wilson does in Oklahoma. And that was another huge reason we decided to go with him. So it is a 3-day recovery back to being able to perform at a desk job, and I think it's like a week or something for manual labor. I'm not sure, I didn't pay too much attention to that because that doesn't pertain to us, but the recovery is supposed to be quite easy and there's not a whole lot of risks involved in any of that, which is just one thing we don't have to worry about. I feel like this is an easy snowball into how soon after the procedure is done can we start trying, and that varies per doctor. So he will tell us specifically how long we should wait, but you do need to wait a little bit because obviously when you are performing a microsurgery to such a delicate area, you need to not disturb the area for a while to let it until it's fully healed. So we're going to get a ballpark between 2 to 4 weeks of having to wait. 4 weeks is a little extreme. From what I've looked at, most doctors recommend a 2-week wait. Because again, the vas deferens tubes where the sperm travels through are cut and then sewn back together very finely, and they need to heal back into a stable tube before anything can go through it again. Otherwise you have the risk of rupturing and things like that. So just getting into a little bit of the medical stuff to explain that a little further. So you do really have to wait. I'm assuming we're probably going to be given about a 2-week time frame. So then depending on when the woman ovulates and what that schedule is determines how soon after you can officially start trying. So most people can start trying within about a month. Hold on, I have a kid calling me. So 2 to 3 weeks is average to wait after this procedure, but we will be told specifically what this doctor recommends when he gets the procedure done. The next question I think would be good to address is, what is the success rate with a vasectomy reversal? And all places will tell you a different success rate, and it varies depending on how long it's been since you got the original vasectomy. So that is another reason we went with Dr. Wilson, is because he has amazing success rates that are much higher than a lot of other places, and they are verified by pregnancies and babies. And he just has like thousands and thousands and thousands of wonderful, awesome reviews and successes and baby stories coming out of his office. So for us, since it has been 6 years since Cody got a vasectomy, he got a vasectomy on Halloween in 2014. So it's been 6 years, almost 7. So we have a 91% patency, which Am I saying that right? I hope so. That just means of flow of sperm returning, and that's a really high rate, but that doesn't always guarantee pregnancy because obviously that involves the female fertility and everything like that. So you do have to consider there could be other factors with some couples, but a 91% patency for our time frame and a 74% pregnancy success rate for our time frame, which is really high, and we're really happy with those numbers. Now, since we're kind of close to the 7-year mark, but apparently you don't have to like consider that until later, that would go down to about 61%. So quite a large gap there, or a jump down. So it is really important that if you are looking into reversal, that you do it sooner than later, because the closer you are to having had the vasectomy, the more success you will have. However, again, why we went with Dr. Wilson is he has wonderful success stories of people much later in life, and much further from the time of their vasectomy, having this reversal done by him and having a successful pregnancy. I don't personally have any fertility issues. I got pregnant very easily the first 2 times. I've had myself cleared with so many things to make sure that I am going to be as fertile as possible. I am doing a ton to make sure that I am ready to start conceiving. I will do another video about that. I think that would be something good to talk about, the things I'm doing to prepare my body for pregnancy. I'm doing my last doctor's appointment next week to just clear the last little bits for myself. So all in all, we have a really high success rate looking to us. Now, I should say this here, that just because we have that high success rate doesn't mean we will get pregnant right away. Obviously, we are prepared to get pregnant right away, and we hope that we can get pregnant right away. But I know that might not be the reality, and the reality is that it could take up to a year, just as it would if you were trying regularly. There's no guarantee it will happen right away. So I could be pregnant as soon as the fall, or I might not be pregnant until next summer, and both of anything in between that as well is within the range of normal. While talking about the success rate, I have had a couple of questions come in about, are you worried that it won't work? And honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I am not worried that it won't work. How do I even explain this and make sense? The rational part of me understands that it might not work, and I'll talk about that in a second. However, I've just had this gut instinct that is so intense, I can't even explain it, that it will work. Absolutely, this is how we are having another baby. That is how this whole thing came about. Is I have this weird soul pull that there is another baby out there for us, and that this is the route, and I'm just not worried about it. I believe with all my heart that this will work, and I don't even feel like my brain needs to go there that it might not. I'm not worried at all that it won't. I know that in time it will, and I don't know, I'm just not worried about that. However, let's talk rationally for a minute. Not that that's irrational, that's perfectly valid, and I know enough now through my years on this earth that I need to trust that gut instinct and that it's there for a reason. So I fully 100% trust that. However, there is obviously a risk that it wouldn't work. But I feel like it's about the same amount of risk of going into pregnancy with a partner and not being able to conceive on your own. It's like a similar statistical risk. However, Dr. Wilson from the reversal clinic has a contingency plan, I suppose, where you can go back to him after a year if you haven't gotten pregnant. Don't quote me on what I'm saying, because it's on his website and on the information you can get from his clinic. But he has a thing that if it doesn't work, he will redo it for half the price, which is amazing. And if that is his contingency plan, that just makes me have way more trust in him as well as a doctor and as a person, that he is willing to do it at half the cost over again if his first one doesn't work. Speaking of cost, that is a huge question that everybody wants to know who is seriously looking into this, especially, is what's the cost? And that's a big reason we chose to go with this clinic, or like it has a lot of influence there, because if we were in Canada, it would have cost between $10,000 to $20,000, upwards of $20,000 for like Canada's best guy in Ontario, and sometimes it can be about $6,000 where I am in Alberta, but again, the doctor is not good, honestly, and has terrible reviews, so it's quite expensive. However, at the reversal clinic with Dr. Wilson in Oklahoma, his procedure is done for only $1,900 US. So all in all, this entire trip is costing us about $4,000 with travel, and once you convert it to Canadian dollar, so we're paying well under half of what we would have to pay to have the procedure done in our own country, which is just insane to me, and I have so much I could say about that. The cost of this procedure has taught me a lot, and having to go through the hoops to try and find a doctor to do it and where to do it and everything like that has been crazy, but that is the cost of the reversal clinic in Oklahoma, and it is wonderful because Dr. Wilson's whole thing is about doing affordable vasectomy reversals. I have had a few people give me a heads up that he has some pretty deep, well, he does have really deep religious roots in his philosophies and why he does what he does. That doesn't bother us. We're fine with that, you know, to each their own. It doesn't have any effect on us. We're just grateful that he chooses to do what he does, and he's very talented at it. So if that might bother you, I feel like I should mention that. But again, at the end of the day, he's one of the most skilled surgeons who does this, and he does it at a really affordable rate for a really beautiful purpose, regardless of his religious beliefs. That doesn't bother me, but I just feel like I should say that. Okay, so my kids are requiring my attention soon, so I'm going to answer one more question that I've gotten, and then we'll wrap up this update. And of course, I'm sure I'll have another update or two before the actual procedure, so if you have any questions that have sprung up from this, please feel free to leave them down below and I will answer in the next video, or perhaps just in the comments there. The last question I'm going to answer today is, does the age gap bother us? There is going to be a pretty large age gap between our kids, and the short answer is no, absolutely not. So there will be about 11.5 years, maybe 12, between my oldest and when we have our next baby, and about 8 years, depending on when they are born, between my youngest and our next baby. So it's a pretty significant age gap, but if anything, I am so excited about it, because if you know me, I am not a have babies on top of each other kind of person. I'm not knocking that at all. It looks overwhelming. I commend you. But I, for so many reasons, deeply love a good age gap. There's 3.5 years between my two. I appreciate a good age gap. I am so excited that there will be such a big age gap because I feel like it's just going to be so much easier. The biggest thing, you know, that's another thing that people have said or asked questions about too, is like, are you worried that this is going to change your lifestyle? Because if you have older children, then you know your life changes. It's not the same as having younger kids. You get this like new freedom, all these new freedoms when you get older children, when your kids grow up a bit, and it just becomes a different sort of lifestyle that you become accustomed to. However, with having such a large age gap, the things that we are accustomed to don't really need to change all that much. I'm really grateful to have helpers. They're not required to help by any means, but they are very helpful, wonderful children. So for example, if I get as sick as I did the first 2 times in the first trimester, I'm not as worried about it this time, because I know that my kids can make themselves breakfast. They can even bring me breakfast in bed and bring me something to eat before I get up to help with the nausea. They're quite self-sufficient. They understand if I can't do something for a little bit, I'm going to be able to sleep when baby sleeps with the older two, because I can have a nap. I can do these things because I don't have kids that cannot function without me. They're 24/7. And really, by the time we will be comfortable leaving, at the age we're comfortable leaving a baby that we have with a babysitter or something like that, Mackenzie will be old enough and have all her certifying courses and first aid courses and stuff to be able to do babysitting, and something she's actually really excited about for the future. So really, we're still gonna get our date nights and things like that, not to mention we have lifelong, very dear friends very close by to us, and we'll be able to kind of team up and pass babies and help each other go on dates. So like, our lifestyle really isn't going to change that much. There's not going to be, of course, like, our life is going to change and a new dynamic is going to happen, but it's not like we're gonna have to give up date nights, or it's not like we're gonna have to I don't know, do you know what I'm saying? And there's this whole thing about a bigger age gap that just allows you to bond and spend that time with the youngest one and allow that child to be a baby for the years they need those baby years for. And of course there will be challenges having to do kind of all three stages of teen and you know, middle child age, and then young baby and toddler stage, and but that's just part of life, right? But if anything, I'm incredibly excited about the age gap, because I just feel like their connection is going to get to be so unique and so wonderful, and the bond we have as a family is incredibly strong, and the bond my two children have with each other is just amazing, and I'm so excited to watch this dynamic change a little bit among the siblings. I don't know, it's just different when they're older and everybody can express feelings and emotions and be a bigger part of it with more understanding. I'm really excited about the age gap. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little update. So we are reversing this bad boy in August. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. For us, it means we'll probably start trying in September. So just for where my personal cycle sits. So theoretically I could be pregnant right away, or it could take up to a year. We will see, but I will keep you guys informed and bring you along the way. I am so excited. If you have any questions from this that this might have sparked, then please leave them down below, and I will either answer them in a new update or answer them right where you put them. Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it answered some questions for you, or maybe it was just entertaining because you just like to follow along. But either way, I thank you for being here with me. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for sharing in my joy and in our family's happiness on this new adventure. I really appreciate you all being here with me. It makes everything feel a lot less lonely that I can sit down like this and talk to you guys about all these nitty-gritty details. So thank you guys, and we'll see you in my next one. Bye!